I received a free game key for Karma the Dark World from Wired Productions for review purposes. Karma the Dark World is a first person cinematic psychological thriller developed by Pollard Studios, published by Wired Productions, and released on Steam and PlayStation 5 as well as a PS5 Pro Enhanced version on March 27th of 2025. From the moment Karma the Dark World boots up, you can feel the weight of something sinister pressing down on you. The game drags you into a dystopian nightmare drenched in paranoia, surveillance, and the eerie hum of an authoritarian grip that tightens with every step. If you enjoy the cryptic twist in reality of Control by Remedy, you're in for a treat. This game thrives on a similar sense of mystery, but with an even darker psychological edge.
Verdammt!
Who's there?
During 1984 in East Germany, you play as Daniel, a Rome agent who is investigating a case for Leviathan's Thought Bureau, a company that sees and hears everything. Using the heightened technology through Leviathan, you follow the rabbit hole down a little deeper than you should, and end up in a twisting world where you have to face conniving individuals. Sorting through memories is the least of your worries, as you must now go up against monsters in your own state of mind. Peeling back layers of the mystery you come across may reveal secrets that should have stayed covered, but the enlightenment may change the course of the world for the better if you play your cards right. Now it is up to Daniel to figure out how to rummage through puzzling scripts and labyrinth filled memories to finally close this case for good.
Done. I need to get back to the Thought Bureau.
At its core, Karma the Dark World is about power, the illusion of it, the fear of losing it, and the consequences of wielding too much of it. What starts as a supernatural thriller slowly reveals itself to be something much more personal. It's a story about love, family, identity, and what it means to live with the consequences of your choices. Beneath the mind bending horrors, the game forces you to confront what it truly means to survive in a world designed to break you. And perhaps most interestingly, it holds a mirror up to our own society in subtle and chilling ways, making you wonder just how far removed this dystopia really is from reality.
This is the Thought Bureau, ma'am. I order you to open the door.
Announcement. All residents and personnel, please vacate the streets before 2300 hours.
A big reason why this game is as impressive as it is the fully realized and captivating world. As a roam agent of the Thought Bureau, your job is to do the dirty work, cleaning up the problems that rise outside the main force. One of the most disturbing aspects of the world and your role as an agent is brain diving, more or less drilling deep into the back of a person's mind to see their memories from their perspective. It's an invasion, an act of control disguised as justice. The game gets metaphysical and psychological in a fascinating way, making you question whether you're solving crimes or erasing free will.
No! 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 Please, I beg you, I don't want to go through this again! No, I don't want...
Memory channel established. Stand by for Rome.
The Thought Bureau itself is terrifying in its quiet, calculated oppression. It doesn't just punish dissent, it rewrites people's lives. Those who step out of line aren't just demoted at work, their entire lifestyle is stripped away through the dystopian class system. A mysterious, energy absorbing substance lurks at the heart of this world's control. It fuels the Bureau's power, but its true nature remains a mystery. Employees are kept awake and obedient with an addicting drink, ensuring they work tirelessly for a system that sees them as disposable. The game takes its time unraveling these unsettling truths, slowly pulling you deeper into its dystopian nightmare. The Institute is corrupt, unfair, and so powerful that resistance feels impossible. And yet, as you dig deeper, you start to wonder, is there any way out?
Holmes. Are you sure you're comprehending? I serve.
I will echo.
While Karma the Dark World is engaging, there are moments where it feels like it's trying too hard to be surreal. Some sequences seem to exist just to be weird for weird's sake, as if the game insists upon itself at times. This, combined with how you're constantly jumping between different memories, can make the pacing feel a bit stagnated. The game leans heavily into its cinematic style, with some cutscenes running longer than necessary. At times, it feels more like watching a movie more than playing a game. That being said, the overall experience is still mesmerizing. Even if certain bits feel contrived, the world is so engrossing that you want to keep going. The combination of exploration, psychological horror, and unsettling world building makes this something special, even if the execution isn't always perfect. There's a strong emphasis on exploration in Karma the Dark World. A lot of the time, you'll simply be walking around, taking in the scenery while trying to piece together the overarching mystery. The puzzles themselves, when it comes to actually going through the story of the game, are disappointingly simple. They aren't particularly challenging or innovative, which might leave some players wanting more. However, they do provide enough interactivity to keep you engaged, ensuring you're still an active participant rather than just a spectator. There are puzzle boxes you can complete for collectibles that prove to be a fun challenge, and memos you can pick up that provide some lore bits, but the actions of going through the main portions of the game, while still exciting, are a bit drab. Honestly, this game should be in VR. If there was ever a game suited for an immersive virtual reality experience, this is it. Walking through these eerie environments, brain diving into people's minds, and interacting with the dystopian world firsthand would be an unforgettable experience. As it stands, the game already feels more like an experience than a traditional game. VR could push it to a whole new level. The world of Karma the Dark World is stunningly detailed, with dimly lit hallways that feel claustrophobic and vast, and beautifully illuminated rooms that give an almost dreamlike quality. Some areas feel like you're walking through an avant garde art piece, with people, objects, and set pieces arranged in a way that feels deliberate, surreal, and unsettling. Every corner tells a story, even when no words are spoken. That said, there are some inconsistencies in the visuals. While the world is rich with detail, you'll occasionally run into muddy textures that can feel jarring against the otherwise highly polished environments. It's not game breaking, but when everything else looks so intentional and refined, these moments stand out more than they should. The voice acting is solid, with some truly great performances that sell the intensity of the game's world. At times, the delivery can be a bit too dramatic, almost theatrical in a way that feels slightly out of place. It doesn't ruin the immersion, but it's noticeable. The soundtrack, on the other hand, is fantastic. The music perfectly complements the eerie, dreamlike atmosphere, shifting between haunting melodies and tense ambient tracks that heighten the psychological horror elements. It's one of those soundtracks that sticks with you, making every moment feel even more surreal. Dark, oppressive, and psychologically draining in the best way possible, Karma the Dark World is surprisingly deep and showcases an interesting world to be in. The slow, deliberate storytelling keeps you in suspense with shocking revelations and personal drama. While the puzzles are underwhelming and some visual inconsistencies exist, the game's rich atmosphere, mind bending narrative, and deeply immersive world make it a must play for fans of psychological horror and dystopian fiction. At times, it feels like it leans too hard into being an experience rather than a traditional game, with long cutscenes and a pacing that can feel uneven. But even then, I wouldn't consider them flaws, but I wish I could interact with this world even more. I want to see more. I need to see more. And for a game like this, that's one of the highest compliments I can give. Karma the Dark World tells a fascinating tale that shouldn't be ignored. I give Karma the Dark World an 8 out of 10.
Fuck! My prosthetic!